Hey everybody, happy Sunday. My name's Todd Alsop. I'm coming to you live from New York City. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles' online service. I am your musical guest today, and I'm going to start things off with some OJs for you. I love music, any kind of music. I love music, just as long as it's growing. Makes me laugh, makes me smile all the while whenever I am with you, babe. While we dance, make romance, I'm enchanted by the things that you do. I said I love music, sweet, sweet music, as long as it's swinging, all the joy that it's bringing. I'm so happy to be in complete harmony. I love you, baby. Just to hold you so close in my arms, I'm so glad that you're mine. Music is the healing force of the world. I'll say that again. Music is the healing force of the world. Music is the healing force of the world. I say music is the healing force of the world. And that's why I say I love, I love, I love, I love, I love, I love music. I love, I love, I love, I love, I love, I love music. I love, I love, I love, I love, I love, I love music. I love, I love, I love, I love, I love music. Ooh, I love music. Yes, I do. I love music.
And it is quite evident that you do.
Thank you.
It's so wonderful, wonderful, in what I feel as if I bear witness to every time I'm witness you perform, and I've seen you live, is that you share, it's your passion. And it's both the performance element and the playing it, but it's also in the interpretation of various different artists. And so just recently I was watching some show, The Voice or something, at the different artists that were being interviewed because people were covering their songs. And they said, what we really want more than anything is for people to put their own stamp of individuality on it, really, is what they're saying. Mm-hmm. So in our kind of philosophy, faith, and way of life, that individuality, right, is the I in the word passion. If you break it down, pass I on. So when you share your gift like that and your passion, you're passing your divine energy onto us. And for all of us, I say thank you.
Well, thank you back. That's very nice of you to say. Thanks. I'm glad to be here, you guys. Thank you.
I'm glad you're here. And hello, everyone, and good morning if you're joining us from the West Coast. And if you're not, then hello and good day wherever you may be joining us from. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and as Todd, our musician, just said, this is our virtual space for the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and we come together on Sunday mornings to remember who we are as the I, as an expression of the energy of the divine, and to use our power and to be reminded and to remember to use our power in ways for good, if you will. Good in this context, as we look at it here in the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, good is a synonym for God. And so it's utilizing our energy of the divine that we both experience and express through our thoughts and beliefs and our actions and our reactions in life to then use it in a way to propagate more of itself. And so we come together for that purpose. And I affirm for each one of us that is indeed what we're doing today. And throughout this journey that we share together today, whether it's live or at a viewing of a later date, that is what is sparked within you. And so as I place our opening slides on the screen, let's begin. And first and foremost, just to remind you, we are the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, California, in the land of the US of A. And our vision statement is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. It is my intention and my objective today to invite in for all of us and to be a conduit, if at all possible. It is possible, I don't know why I said it like that, to be a conduit for all of us to have both those moments of spiritual awakening, which then provides for each of us a greater sense of personal self-empowerment. I invite you to look towards the screen if that's safe and comfortable for you where you are right now. And you see the sparkling image of the individual with their hands in prayer position, leaning forward into the light of the sparkle. And the word on the screen is Namaste. It's a modern day greeting that we use to say hello in the Western world, and from other aspects of the world. It's in the modern world today, it's really used to say, may the divine energy, the God, the presence of the power itself in me honors and acknowledges that within you. That takes place by putting our hands together in prayer position and bending forward. And as we rise back up, the next part of that exchange, the ritual, if you will, is like, and that within me recognizes and honors it in you and receives it from you. In its most traditional definition, which is a Sanskrit word, its translation means I bow to thee. And that thee that we speak of is the creative energy, the source of all life. It matters not what we call it, but we are all encouraged and encouraging each other to call it as often as possible. We are a community that's been coming together in person and now mostly virtually, except for once a month, for about 36 years. And as a community, our vision statement for many years was making a difference and to honor that expression of the divine that's expressing itself by means of you. For many, many years prior to my role here, but as a student and a congregant, when we would meet in person and our bulletin was handed out in the mornings, on Sunday mornings, there was a quote from Ernest Holmes on there. And that quote is, "Spirit has placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you." Our slide, our screen right now, really acknowledges that affirmation of spiritual truth by Reverend Dr. Ernest Holmes. And with that, not only has it placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you, but because in our philosophy, faith, and way of life, we know that our intention and our purpose and our actions have meaning, as do our words. And so we use these words in this welcoming affirmation to place a stand into consciousness. We welcome all races, all religions, all countries of origins, all sexual orientations, all genders, and all abilities. We stand with you and affirm and declare that you're safe here with us. I invite you once again, if you're looking at the screen, to see the different stamps of individuality that is expressed in the images of the beings of light on the screen. So adorable and so reflective of the diversity of humanity. And then let's bring them all into our mind's eye and say these words together. We welcome one, and we welcome all. As a community, we've come together for many years to teach primarily the philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind. At its most core being, the science of mind is So interesting. I'm looking on the screen, and what was showing up was totally different than what I have on my screen. What we teach here is the threw me for a second. The science of mind. There's an for some reason on the screen, on my YouTube screen, it's showing last week's service. And it even says Sunday, November 30th live. So maybe we want to check that. And it says what we teach is the science of mind, which is a philosophy, faith, and a way of life that is really focused on the one power of the divine that we each individualize. It is all-inclusive in its nature. We both experience and express it through our thoughts and our beliefs, our actions, our reactions with life itself. It goes on to remind us and tell us that we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law. And so that which we know ourselves to be is the divine fully expressed in all of its magnificence. Because we live in a universe governed by spiritual law, that which we know ourselves to be shows up in form. I'm sorry, I was getting something different on the screen here. So I'm just going to have to take a deep breath in and exhale and continue. When I look on the screen on my handheld device, it's what I'm showing you here. So there's a kerfuffle in technology going on somewhere. So our journey is to pay attention to what's going on in our mind, our thoughts, our actions, our reactions, and to open ourselves up through intention and purpose and willingness to engage in our vision statement, which is once again supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. Let's move into our morning ritual. I'm going to play some music in the background, which is titled Somewhere in the Silence by Donna Michael. We've listened to it for many, many, many years now. I don't know that I've ever actually declared the name of the album to you. And let's continue. Calling in the light is the name of our ritual. And I invite us all to open up to this as moving into the theme of light is happening through me is the theme for the month of December. And let's hear this anew. Today we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. The purpose of this ritual that we're experiencing in this very moment is to draw into our gathering this morning a conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities we possess as complete expressions of the divine. Take that in, that we are complete expressions of the divine. Looking into the orb of light on the screen, we continue as we feel the vibration shift during this experience, this ritual. May we each become ever more aware of the light of life that exists in and as all expressions of life, which obviously includes you and it includes me. And so looking at that candle, that orb on the screen, let's imagine that a spark was ignited and lights that flame. And we light a candle using these words from the great Thich Nhat Hanh. Lighting this candle, offering the light to countless Buddhas, which we each are, the peace and the joy I feel brighten the face of the earth. Let's hear that again, and in our mind's eye, imagine ourselves lighting a candle. Lighting this candle, offering the light to countless Buddhas, the peace and the joy I feel brighten the face of the earth. Imagine your light, my light, which is the same light, as we ignite it and it illumines our being and then illuminates the face of earth. Todd's going to come on the screen and take us through the song, Calling in the Light. It's a call and response song. Those parts of the lyrics to respond to are on the screen. He'll guide you through that, and let's use our words in song and melody to continue to brighten the face of the earth.
Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. Here we go, everybody. I am love, I am peace in my heart. I am free, I am spirit, I am soul, all together we are home. Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love, calling in the light of love. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
And so it is. Look at you with Donna Disco up over your shoulder.
Yeah, got my wall of my show posters over here, but they're coming down soon because I'm moving.
Oh, I thought you'd already moved.
No, it's a process. I'm officially out of my New York apartment at the end of January, so.
Got it. Got it. And you're moving into upstate New York, right?
That's right, yes.
Fantastic. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
So exciting. So you were very conscious and conscientious of the song selections as we kick off this new theme for the month.
Yeah.
And so what's the next one you have for us?
I'm going to do, well, we're talking about light today, so I thought I'd do a little tune from somebody you might have heard of, my girl, who wrote a song about light. This is Ray of Light by Madonna.
All righty.
Zephyr in the sky at night, I wonder, do my tears of morning sink beneath the sun? She got herself a universe gone quickly, for the call of thunder threatens everyone. And I feel like I just got home, and I feel like I just got home, and I feel faster than the speed of light. She's flying, trying to remember where it all began. She got herself a little piece of heaven, waiting for the time when us shall be as one. And I feel like I just got home, and I feel like I just got home, and I feel, yeah, yeah. Quicker than a ray of light, quicker than a ray of light, quicker than a ray of light. I wonder, do my tears of morning sing beneath the sun? She got herself a universe gone quickly, for the call of thunder threatens everyone. And I feel like I just got home, and I feel like I just got home, and I feel quicker than a ray of light. They're gone, for someone else will be there through the endless years. Quicker than a ray of light, she's flying. Quicker than a ray of light, I'm flying.
So fantastic and magnificent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did Madonna write that song?
Sort of. It's based on like a 60s rock tune. There are parts of it that are like a
Got
taken,
it.
and then other parts that were kind of invented. So it's kind
Got
of
it.
a hybrid.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Todd, and thanks, Madge.
Yeah. Thanks, you guys. I'll be back in a bit.
Yep. A perfect song to kick off this part of our service today as we kick off this theme. Light is happening through me. And when the lyrics say, I see a ray of light and I feel like I just got home. Home in this context is the deep awareness of one's divine energy and the connection that we share to that which provides light, that is light itself. And this day and this month, it's my objective for us to really begin to look at us as beings of light in ways that we've not done before. Because every year at this time of year, because it is a season of light, we look at light. And you'll probably hear some stuff that you've heard before today, but I really want us to begin to look at it and engage in it through the declaration of the theme, light is happening through me. I want to, which is building upon all of the other elements that we've declared throughout the year has happened through us, if you will. I guess that's the way to say it. Gratitude is happening through me. Joy is happening through me. Transformation is happening through me. I don't remember all of them, but it was all purposefully. Each month has been for us to remember that it is indeed all happening through us, life itself. And the objective is, as Madge and Todd just shared with us, is to return home as a state of awareness and to tune into that frequency of light. How do you do that? Well, here's what Ernest Holmes talks about light in the glossary of the book, The Science of Mind. He defines light in this way. In flashes of illumination, the inspired have seen into the very center of reality. That's all uppercase typeface here. Hear that again. In flashes of illumination, the inspired have seen into the very center of reality and have brought back with them a distinct impression of what they've seen and felt. Let's just be open to what that could mean to you. To me, what that means is a distinct impression, both as a mental activity, meaning my field of awareness of what that experience was like. I'm going to share an experience with you later on that will support this concept. But I believe that it's more about a recognition of our soul, recognizing what this is. So I'm going to reread this beginning part of this definition again. He goes, in flashes of illumination, the inspired have seen into the very center of reality and have brought back with them a distinct impression of what they've seen and felt. A glimpse of this reality illumines the whole being with a flood of light. Every mystic has had this experience. Jesus was the greatest of all the mystics. So when he speaks of the mystics, he's speaking of those as referenced in old theology, who were attuned to their divine energy and divine power. Hence, speaking of Jesus in so many ways has been considered the exception or one of them. In our teaching, we look at Jesus as an example, not an exception. What I want us to tune into relative to this definition and our intention and willingness and declaration to live life from the perspective of light is happening through us is to tune into both the theme and its meaning and what Holmes has talked about in the definition, and begin to have a realization, if you will, and align that realization with intention that all of this activity of the returning to our spiritual nature and having these moments of illumination are all a result of action. It's all a result of movement. It's all a result of utilizing the power, the divine energy that we are all imbued with. And the only way that we can do that is through our mind. It's all mental activity, as you'll hear in a quote from Holmes in a moment. Now, to reinforce this concept for us as a spiritual practice, and that really is what I'm talking about, us doing, not necessarily from the perspective of stopping 3 times a day and dropping to your butt and crossing your legs and oming and going, I'm calling in the light, I'm calling in the light, but more from a perspective of bringing into your field of awareness a new perspective as you navigate all elements of your day, which may include dropping to your butt and crossing your legs, as I'm about to do right now, and getting comfortable with the journey of tuning into light is happening through you. To use as a point of reference for all of us, the ritual that we just used in opening our service, and one that we use each and every Sunday and sometimes on Wednesdays. And it's a wonderful ritual and a song that was created by our beloved Bunny Hull and John Guillotine. And the lyrics are, and I want you to hear it through the action of it being a spiritual practice, just like Madonna's talking about, I'm returning home and experiencing the ray of light. The words are calling in the light. And once again, this is not a act of receiving per se. It's an act of action and of engagement, of movement of mind, of being the medium by which light is filtering itself and illuminating us first. Each stamp of individuality. Calling in the light. Calling in the light. Calling in the light of love. What the author, if you will, is telling us there is that when we're calling in the light, it's the light of love, because love is one of the qualities of the divine. In other words, we're calling in this energy of divination, if you will, for the purpose of illumination, right? And then it goes on to have the call and response period, which is really an act of acknowledgement. It's much as Holmes says, is when one goes to that place in the very center of reality, it acknowledges it and responds in like kind, because that's its nature. And our role in this is to play with it in that realm. We call in the light, not calling it from the outside in. It's an inner awareness that we're tuning into as a frequency through intention and purpose and willingness. And also then saying, and as a being of light, I'm love and I'm peace. And in my heart, I'm free, I'm spirit, I'm soul. And all together we are whole. Why? Because that's the spiritual truth. The great acronym that I like for light is living in God's healing truth. Well, what is the truth? We are indeed whole. And we are all together. Experientially, yes, and certainly we're individualized expression of that, but at that very center of reality that he speaks of, we are all connected. It's what we really speak of when we go through the actual ritual of calling in the light, which is an adaptation of lighting the flames of faith. And the words are this, and we did it just earlier. Today, we perform this ceremony. Now, I want you to hear this through the lens of taking action, right? You're not just observing this, it's an action-oriented ritual for the purpose of, yes, calling in the light, but calling in the light with the intention, not necessarily, I'm just going to leave it at that, with the intention of going to that place in the very center of reality, that awakening to the awareness of who and what we are as divine beings. Today, we perform this ceremony to promote another action step, the universal consciousness of life. That is, in other words, what was said in the song, "We Are Whole." That's that universal consciousness. That's where we're all connected. And the only way that we can experience that is through consciousness, because really that's where we're all connected, right? And it goes on to say, well, then this consciousness, this universal consciousness, acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Now, for many years in this philosophy, faith, and way of life, and even recently at times, I get thrown by that concept of one great universal, right? Because that's a huge idea. But all that is required of us to have an expansion in mind to that spiritual truth is to open our mind to the possibility that we may know it in a broader sense than ever before, using the wisdom that is within us already as a quality of the divine. It goes on to say the purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering, another action step this morning, a conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. I haven't said them yet today, so here they are: peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. When we light the candle and calling in the light for these various qualities that we are all imbued with and that exist as the divine, when we get to light, we do that and declare that it's the symbol of universal intelligence. So today, as we begin to open our awareness and set the intention and have the willingness and live with the reason of what we're doing here as an action step of calling in the light, and yes, that's to live in God's healing truth. And yes, that's to honor and acknowledge the oneness of all life. Once we also set that intention in tune to it, what we're tuning to is the intelligence of the universe. You don't even really have to know what that means to yourself right now, but to know that it's there and it's you and it's me, because we're mental beings. That's where the intelligence lies, at least in the context of the language that we use to understand what it means. Another big idea, much like the one universal mind that Ernest Holmes has shared with us, comes from the book, The Science of Mind. And it's a moment that I'm inviting all of us to have an aha moment, going to that very center of reality for the purpose of awakening to a new idea, a new perspective, so that our journey that's in front of us of finding personal self-empowerment through spiritual awakenings may be steeped in that moment of a spiritual awakening. Here's what Holmes tells us about this. When one realizes that everything is mind, uppercase M-I-N-D, and that nothing moves but mind, and that the only instrument of mind is thought, which is contemplation in some form or other, they will see that nothing can permanently heal unless it be accompanied by right thinking. Nothing can heal but thought. Thought that's aligned with its innate nature. And when he's speaking of healing, he's speaking of healing from the perspective and in the context of revealing the wholeness that we just spoke of and referenced in the ritual that is action-oriented of calling in the light, aligning with universal intelligence, and being open to having that flash of illumination into the very center of reality. It's So they're all big ideas, and yet they're all ones that I'm affirming, not assuming, that we all align with because this teaching speaks to us, and we all enjoy being on the journey purposefully and intentionally because we're on the journey, and we are on the journey of life, but our intention and desire is for it to be a journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening based in action steps, and remembering that there are those moments where we have those spiritual awakenings, remembering that we're one in a sea of consciousness, that we are there with the light moving through us. And it's from that acceptance and that awareness and that feeling that we bring back with us, having glimpsed into the center of reality in that moment, that provides for us the opportunity to have a shift in our own individualized consciousness. And in so doing, that provides for us an opportunity to have an evolving consciousness, i.e., personal self-empowerment. What's all that mean? What it means is that as awakening metaphysicians, students of the science of mind, it is incumbent upon us, and I mean incumbent upon us, to use our mind to the best of our ability as frequently and as often as we can to tune in to the frequency of the divine and to live to the best of our ability as if we were walking as the Buddha or Jesus, or Yahweh. Not necessarily experientially, as the stories have been told, but with the purpose of living at the highest frequency possible. And why does that matter? That matters because we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law, and that which we choose to know ourselves to be, whether that be a person of anger or fear or grief or apathy or shame, or of reason or willingness or courage or peace or joy or enlightenment, the law of life responds. And it responds in like kind. It's a mirror, if you will. Holmes tells us that the law of life responds to us by corresponding. And we're contemplative beings, so we have the ability to then choose what we want to know, how we want to act, how we want to react, and what state of mind we're using as a foundation to engage in all of that to the best of our ability. Therefore, because we have that ability, let's all choose the highest possible. In preparing for today and this week and looking at light, I pulled out the map of consciousness by David Hawkins, which I've shared with many of you before, and I was like, well, I know that peace and joy and love are all components, they're qualities of the divine, but where's light on here? Where's light? And then it was like a moment of aha, bing, the center of reality. The highest vibration of consciousness is enlightenment, light. It's right there in the middle of that word. In other words, for light to be happening through us, and that we're living in God's healing truth, then for that to unfold, we must choose to know with every fiber of our being, to the best of our ability, as frequently as possible, that the truth is, as the song says, yes, I, Keith, but I meaning each one of us, I am love, and I am light, and I am peace, and I am power. And I'm choosing it, and I'm letting it be. And you are too, because we're whole. Just that alone as a practice throughout the day will give us the opportunity to have a shift, both experientially and consciousness-wise, and reframe our mind as to how we live life. Why is that important to do? Because it's what we teach in this philosophy, faith, and way of life is that that is our truth. And the more and more that we live from our truth, the more and more we'll experience it in form. I'm throwing a lot of Holmes at you today because I'm in a mood of that, right? He tells us in another quote, Well, these qualities are within us. It's just who and what we are: peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. The quote speaks directly of love, which is the self-givingness of the spirit that we speak of, which is that component of the divine intelligence, this universal presence that we speak of. He goes, love is within us. It cannot be destroyed. It cannot be ignored. To the extent that we abandon love, we will feel it has abandoned us. Now, let's use the word light and think about this spiritual truth and this quote through the lens of light, living in God's healing truth, right, is happening through us. Light is happening through me. Universal intelligence at the core of my being, i.e. you, right, our being, is here within us. Light is within us. It cannot be destroyed. It cannot be ignored. To the extent that we abandon light, we will feel it's abandoned us. Denying light is our only problem. Embracing it is the only answer. Through the power of light, we can let go of history and begin again. Light heals, forgives, and makes whole. He's saying it's there. It's within us. But we have to mine it and use it. I know for each one of us, we desire to have a life that is steeped in more healing and more forgiving and revealing more wholeness. Is that possible? Yeah, it's possible. But it's only possible through the action of choosing it, of believing it, even really by imagining it being our reality. Because our mind is one of its great resources, if you will, is the ability to imagine that which we desire. And I say that in the lens of both closing your eyes and imagining what you desire, but also through the lens of realizing that even a lot of what we may be experiencing in life is imagined, right? And I share that from the perspective of understanding. I just had this kind of conversation with a dude at a holiday party last night about understanding the multi-dimensionalities of life that's unfolding before us, through us, around us at all times, while at the very core of what all of those dimensions are and who and what you are in all aspects of life, remember the calling and the light, the core doesn't change. Another Holmes quote: true imagination is not fanciful daydreaming, it's fire from heaven. Fire from heaven. I don't know what that means to you, but what it means to me is heaven is a state of mind that is reflective of the bliss that exists for us should we tune into our highest frequency possible, living in a state of enlightenment to the best of our ability. And when we capture that as referenced in the spark of reality, when we go to the center of that and then bring back with it what we've seen and felt, then we feel that fire, that spark. We know what that looks like because we've lit a flame that has then sparked to the candle that has illuminated the environment and dispelled the darkness. One day in heaven. So the question then is, if you and I desire to live our life tuning into those sparks and those sparks and those sparks and those sparks and those sparks, what do we do? How do we do that? What are we to be? Where do we go? Well, it's by changing our perspective, by opening our mind, by utilizing all of this in a way both fun and fanciful and experimental. One of the things that is important for us to remember is we're moving experientially into the season of light and of miracles, if you will, both the birth of the baby Jesus and Hanukkah and the winter solstice, and there's all of it, right? That's what this is about. This morning I received an email, and many of you did if you're on the list, from our beloved shared building and congregation Colamy, addressing light. I want to share it with you. And it says, as the Festival of Lights approaches, we're reminded of the power of a single flame to brighten even the darkest night. You are that flame. And the continuation of it to continue to shine and to be reignited so that it may continue to illumine is always there inside of each of us, calling us to ignite that. It goes on to say here, every Hanukkah candle we light carries a message of the enduring strength of our community, their community. And they're going to talk about shining the light is an experience of sharing the values of the community of Congregation Colony into the world. We have seen those values. They're in the ceiling and the roof. They're much like the qualities of the divine that we have. And so their values are friendship, learning, justice, remembrance, peace, compassion, Shabbat, joy, and dignity. I invite you today to take a leap of faith and set the intention to begin to know that light is happening through you. And to the extent that you let your light shine will be to the extent that whatever darkness may appear in your life will then disappear. I got a text from a group called, well, it doesn't matter what it's called, but it's titled, Take a Leap of Faith. And it says, today, take a leap of faith and manifest happiness in abundance. Happiness, I'm going to affirm for each of us in this moment, is the feeling that we get when we've tuned into the enlightenment of going to the very center of reality and bringing it back with us, ready to share it with the world. Believe in your own power to create a life filled with joy. Trust that you are deserving of happiness, the spiritual awakening, and take inspired action. Take inspired action to bring it into your reality. Empower yourself by pursuing your dreams, cultivating meaningful relationships, and embracing a positive mindset. Meaning not a bitchy mindset. That's really what it's saying. But it goes on to say, with every step you take, you manifest a life that overflows with happiness and fulfillment. In other words, with every step that you take with this state of mind of intention and purposefulness, and with the state of awareness that you're drawing into your experience, the desire to have those moments of illumination so that you can bring it back as a personally self-empowered individual, and then know that it's from that sense of empowerment that you continue on the journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, that you will indeed then be a conduit of happiness and fulfillment and positivity with every step you take. Where have we heard those words before? I'm really loving today what I'm sharing with you, and that there's so much continuity of language. And that's on purpose and intention. When I read this and I heard of the word with every step I take or you take, it reminded me of the song that we are going to sing at the end of the service today. And we've sung in these services for years and years and years, called Let There Be Peace on Earth. And I shared with you last week how I was sitting in the manicurist, pedicurist chair, and I heard it from afar. And what it reminded me of, that hearing it from afar, and other experiences this week that I've had, just yesterday with a butterfly and two butterflies flying in my face while I had just been on the phone communicating with a dearly beloved one who was headed off to do the celebration of life service for her mother. And our agreement and her agreement had been that the symbol for her mother from the other side would be a butterfly. And of course, they're showing up everywhere now, but the one that showed up with another butterfly, and literally I watched it fly around this traffic circle where I was walking with Sweeney, and I pulled out my phone to take a picture, and it disappeared, and I sat over, and in my mind it watched for me for a little bit, And then it came right over. And I have video of that I then took, and it danced there and let me take its video and then sent it off to her daughter, my dear friend. But what that reminded me of, as did the song last week, and what I'm affirming for each one of us today, it's those moments that are always transpiring around us, through us, and for us. That is an example of our statement, our vision for the month, our theme: light is happening through me. That all of these moments exist for us to have those sparks of remembrance, that is illumination, if you will. It's what Holmes talks about in going to the very center of reality. It's not a one-time thing and then you're there forever. It's a journey. Remember, we're all on a journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, and it's all interconnected as the symbol of universal intelligence. The key to all of it is being decisive and intentional and purposeful to tune into it while being detached from how it shows up, but getting very excited for when it does. With every step you take, you manifest a life that overflows with happiness and fulfillment. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be light on earth. Remember, light, peace, power, beauty, joy, life, love, wisdom. It's all the same stuff, just being addressed with a different word. And we assign different meanings to that word, but they're all qualities of the one thing: God, you, me, we're it. So as I close out my message that I'm sharing with us today, and I only got halfway through what I wanted to say, but I think it's important to close out with these words of this song, Inserting Light, because last week I believe we did it as well. I think it's important for us to hear it, to tune into it, to sing it, to affirm it, to use it as a tool of action and intention. Let there be light on earth at this time of rejoicing in the miracles of light. Let there be light on earth. And when I say, let it begin with me, I'm saying it as if you're saying it, and invite you to say it along where you are, but you hear it. Not that it's as me, Keith, it's each one of us as steps of individuality. Let there be light on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be light on earth, the light that was meant to be. Light, living in God's healing truth, the miracle, the sign of having darkness disappear. With God as creator, united all are we, and let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let light begin with me, and let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment to the best of my ability in light eternally. And so let there be light on earth, and let it begin with me. Today we can open to the miracle of light. And remember that miracles happen for those who believe. And what is a miracle? Well, it's being open to a new perspective. That's what we're inviting in today. The great Albert Einstein says there's only two ways to live your life. One is though nothing is a miracle, and the other is as though everything is a miracle. Let's let that be an invitation and even an instruction for us from this moment forward as a solemn vow. Thank you. And so it is. Todd's going to take us on a journey of song now.
Stop me on the corner, swear you hit me like a vision. I wasn't expecting But who am I to tell fate where it's supposed to go with it? Don't you blink, you might miss it. See, we got a right to just love it or leave it. You find it and keep it, 'cause isn't every day we get a chance to say, whoa, this is how it starts. Lightning strikes the heart. It goes off like a gun, brighter than the sun. Oh, we could be the stars, falling from the sky, shining how we want, brighter than the sun. I've never seen it. I found this love, I'm gonna feed it. You better believe I'm gonna treat it better than anything I've ever had. 'Cause you're so damn beautiful, read it. It's unseen, deliver, let's seal it. But we don't get together like peanuts and payday, Somali and reggae. And everybody needs to get a chance to say, whoa, this is how it starts. Lightning strikes the heart. It goes off like a gun, brighter than the sun. Oh, we could be the stars, falling from the sky, shining how we want, brighter than the sun. Everything is like a whiteout, 'cause we shake it, shine down. Even when the light's down, I can see you glow. Got my head up in the rafters, got my happy ever after. Never felt this way before, never felt this way before. I swear you hit me like a vision I wasn't expecting. But who am I to tell fate where it's supposed to go? Oh, this is how it starts. Lightning strikes the heart. It goes off like a gun, brighter than the sun. Oh, we could be the stars, falling from the sky, shining how we want, brighter than the sun. Oh, this is how it starts. Lightning strikes the heart. It goes off like a gun, brighter than the sun. Oh, we could be the stars, falling from the sky, shining how we want, brighter than the sun. Oh, this is how it starts. Lightning strikes the heart, goes on like a gun, but brighter than the sun. Oh, we could be the stars, falling from the sky, shining how we want, brighter than the sun. Oh, this is how it starts. Lightning strikes the heart, goes on like a gun, brighter than the sun. We could be the stars, falling from the sky, shining how we want, brighter than the sun. This is how it starts. Lightning strikes the heart. It goes off like a gun, yeah, brighter than the sun. No, we could be the stars, falling from the sky, shining how we want, yeah, brighter than the sun.
Gracias, gracias. So
De nada.
fantastic.
De nada, de nada.
Yeah, really, really, really good and fun.
Thanks.
So thank you. I'm going to affirm for you, healing is continuing. I know you've had a little surgery the last week or so. So you're just going to keep getting better, better, and better. A big thank you to Todd for being here today and sharing his passion with us. And I affirm for him, as I said, that healing continues to happen for him, through him. Thank you to Robert Hensley, our administrative assistant and social media person, as well as a huge thank you to Travis Smith for always taking care of our audio and keeping us on track. And a thank you to each one of you for being here today, whether you're joining us through YouTube or Zoom Live or at a later date. Know that just as you are and where you are and is perfection, wholeness, and completeness. And so thank you for that. We have a weekly e-newsletter that goes out tomorrow that has information on it and a great article in it to share. So I invite you to make sure that you sign up for that and receive that. Our midweek morning meditation takes place on Wednesday mornings at 8:30. And you can find all that information on our website, csl-la.org, or our app in the App Store, or through the newsletter that goes out. A reminder that we'll be back in person for our holiday service on December 21st. We've got a wonderful service that will be planned with some really fantastic musicians. And so I invite you to get that in your calendar, plan on being there in person. It'll also be live streamed, and invite some friends to come along as well. And so I think that's it for right now. If you're on Zoom, we'll have a brief hello after the service and get a chance to say hello to each other. And for those of you on YouTube, we'll say goodbye to you after we sing the song together, Let There Be Peace on Earth. I invite you to really open up to a spiritual practice, meaning intention and awake and alert to being the light of the divine, as the message I shared with you earlier reminded us to do. You are already that light. And just as the song says, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. So let yours shine today, knowing that you've already made a difference in the world by bringing your energy and awareness and you to what we've shared today. So thank you for that. So Todd's going to come back on and we're going to go out with the song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. And let's know that that's an affirmative prayer, and let's hear it that way. And if you want to sing the word light instead of peace, feel free to do so. And know that you are indeed the blessing. Thank you.
Let there be light on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be light on earth, the light that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Begin with me, let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in light eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. On earth.